And we're actually going to walk through how to do this part. All right, we're going to look at the tissue. On this particular pattern, we've got one left front and one right front. And the reason we've got that is you've noticed we've got real distinct markings right here. And you can't have those markings, they're not the same on both sides of the shirt. Both sides of the shirt are treated a little differently. So if we had only done one side, then it would have been really hard to tell which markings you follow for which side. So just to make it easy, we actually printed a left front and a right front. And that way, you just make sure you do them differently. But again, make sure you don't end up with two rights and two lefts, because it's easy to do that, I'm going to tell you. All right, so in this case, we're going to do the side without the pockets. We're actually going to call it the right front. The right front is on a men's shirt is the part that actually carries the buttons, not the buttonholes. So in this particular case, all you do is, again, take these markings and I just clip at the top and clip at the bottom. And this is all done ironing board. It's really easy on an ironing board. I just fold there and press all the way down, fold there and press all the way down. It's two folds, and then I simply stitch all the way down. So I've actually started, you can see, and I like to stitch from the inside because I can be right on the edge of that, but it doesn't make a difference. The most important thing is that it's just straight, and you can see that stitching line coming all the way up there, and you can see where I stopped stitching. But literally it's just a fold, and stitch. The only thing I need you to be careful of is that you make those marks, because if you fold too much or too little, the collar won't fit the neck edge. And you want to make sure that you've done exactly as the pattern. So that's why it's great to just follow those clippings, do it on the ironing board, fold and fold. So that's the right side. Typically that right side is not the pocket side. The pocket side is the left side. And so on the left side here, we've got these pocket markings. And you just can line that pocket up to those pocket markings according to the size you're doing, and stitch that on. And you definitely want to stitch that pocket on while the shirt is flat. It's much easier to deal with, much easier to get it straight, yada, yada, yada. You guys, I'm sure, would figure that out. All right, then on the left side here, same similar folding, just a little bit different, but I'm still gonna, you notice here, instead of having just two marks, I've got one more mark. And that's because the way it happens is I actually fold on this first line, and this is kind of fun. And this is the coolest thing. I just really like this. And if you notice when you folded the first one, it comes to the second one. And then the reason there's these two is because this is actually going to pleat and catch the raw edge of that back side. I'm going to show you in fabric. So here we are. I have folded this side in, and then that second mark, it makes a little pleat there, and the purpose of that little pleat is to just catch the raw edge on the inside of that shirt. And where am I top stitching? Right on the edge of that pleat. When you stitch right, and stitch from the inside, because when you stitch right on the edge of this pleat, it actually will do your top stitching and make the band of the front. So let me just show that again. You fold, that's the first cut and the second cut, but now I've got that third cut left, and what I do is I bring it to the second one, and the fabric in between makes a little tiny pleat, and that pleat goes over the raw edge of that fold. Oh, it's such a cool little method. All right, so what I want to show you on the top is, as there's my pleat, and I'm stitched on the edge of that pleat to give me this nice little placket that goes all the way down the front, and you can see I've just stitched a portion of that. Then I've come along after stitching that to just make what looks like a placket, is come along with another stitch line. And again, you know, you just want to center it to where it looks even. It doesn't really matter where it is. Now, some shirts don't have that. All shirts are a little bit different, but you can decide whether you want the one or both and go from there. You can decide if it's matching thread or contrasting thread or all those variables. This is actually where the buttonholes go. And in the pattern is what's called a buttonhole template. And even before you put the shirt on your guy, you can actually line this up to the top, and you can go all the way down, and that's where the buttonholes and the buttons go all the way down the front. And that is standard in about every men's shirt out there. And just I'm going to show you something kind of cool. You take your little buttonhole template, and I go to this $400 shirt over here, and that buttonhole template is right on our $400 shirt. So don't think for a minute you're losing anything by making your own shirts. We've covered all those details for you. Notice our buttons are right at the placement of those buttons. And I don't know if there's any great dark secrets to where those buttonholes are placed, but you know, you at least don't want to mess that up after you've done the whole shirt beautifully.